Hey friends, welcome back to another video. Just before we recap and talk about the last session, I'm going to go through today's topic, and that's tilt. So what is tilt? It's where you lose your emotions, become irrational, and just totally lose control, incoherent and all that stuff. So what are some of the different types of tilt? There's run bad tilt, hate losing tilt, there's injustice tilt, mistake tilt, there's also revenge tilt, entitlement tilt, and desperation tilt. So run bad tilt, obviously it's pretty easy. You just start hitting the cards. You start hitting the cards you think they're going to work, and the player against you just starts scoring these 5% cards, and it absolutely drives you nuts. Hate losing tilt, you think like you're very competitive at the table, your ego's right there, and you know what, you start losing, you get angry and flustered. Injustice tilt could be, it's sort of like entitlement tilt in a sense that, you know, you play all the right cards, you play the right hands, and somehow you just don't win. It's just not fair. So you get angry, you lose your shit. That's not fair. Mistake tilt is you get really sometimes you actually see me a little bit hinting of mistake tilt because I'll start playing it correctly, playing it incorrectly, and then I'll go, oh, I really played incorrectly. And I go, oh, hold on, now I've got to start concentrating on making the right move. So you'll see how I touch on mistake tilt during even my sessions. Revenge tilt is, especially when you're playing at a table, let's just say you're playing against someone who just you don't like. Sometimes you just perceive you don't like someone. They start beating you, or they start goading you. They start saying some comments that you don't like. They start targeting you. Then they beat you, and then becomes into like some type of revenge tilt. But in the sense, you don't owe, or they don't owe you anything in the game. That's just totally your emotions playing irrational. That's when you're in tilt. Entitlement tilt could be, let's say, when I'm playing in a game, I know a lot more than what a lot of players do. I even know that they know that I don't know. Like, I know there's a lot of players here, even people listening, they don't realize how much I know in the game of poker. I feel like I deserve to win. I'm entitled to that. So, regardless of that, I should just win for my name, or, for what I've learnt. And it's not the case. I mean, someone who could just start playing their first hand in poker, they win straight away, and then you get upset about that. How dare they win? There's always that chance, beginner's luck sort of thing. Then there's desperation tilt. So desperation tilt will be when someone actually is probably playing above their means. So let's say you got a bankroll of about $500, right? But all of a sudden you're playing at a $500 cash game, which is like, it's just insane. You're playing your max limit, or you're playing just a couple of buy-ins. You get desperate, or you get desperate to win because if you lose, everything is on the table, and that's just one bad thing. Another example of desperation tilt as well could be you're losing so much that you feel like you've got to make it back, and that just falls back into just being playing above your means. You could be desperate to make that money back in that session. You're so wound up of having a win rate, or just putting so much pressure on your game, that you get desperate to do anything that it takes. And it's very easy for me to fall into this one, being desperate into a win rate, because now I'm actually recording some of these games. It's probably a little bit easier because it's play money, but at the same time, I have it's a psychological issue when I'm playing a game. When I start losing in a session, the back of my mind is, I know that some of you guys will be put off by this because perception is a huge thing in poker, and we always perceive that the better player on the table has the chips in front of them. That's not always the case. We just perceive that, and it's just the trap you can fall into. Well, that's the case as a tilt anyway. So, what are the best ways to avoid tilt? Inject logic. So, running bad tilt. What's one way? You could just say, look, you're running bad at the moment. You're very close to, just think about your overall game is great. So you can't run bad forever. You consistently hear me during these videos. You'll hear me hear that out. Just try and inject logic. Hate losing tilt is, you know, we hate to lose. So which way do I look at it? I try and where are my stakes of it being played. So did I play that hand right? Did I not do that right? You know, I can hate losing, but am I playing the right way to make that loss? So then that's a great way of avoiding hate. Injustice tilt, you know, just the thing. Just remember, not everything's right and wrong. Not everything's about justice. No one really cares if it's fair. I mean, you've got to care if the house is being fair, and that's about it. But you just got to try and take the emotions and leave your egos at the table, off the table, and leave them at the door. And mistake tilts, everyone's going to make mistakes. It's part of the game. That's how, you know, money is made in poker. You just got to try and make sure that you minimize the mistakes. As soon as you start noticing that you're going to make mistakes, you've really just got to pay attention and go, what type of mistakes, like off the table, when you're not playing, try and dictate what mistakes you're actually making when you're finding yourself in tilt or after you've found your mistake. So, you know, sometimes cold calling at a position with really no equity in the hand. You know, just limp calling because you're scared to win a hand now. You're scared to lose more money. Just stuff like that. You know, not opening your range up too much or just tightening up too much. I guess you just try not to adapt too much to, you know, just conditioning to being tilted. And, you know, revenge tilt as well. How do you avoid being revenged? You know, just leave your ego at the table, off the table. I keep saying that. Just remove it, everything off the table. It's not personal to you. They're playing your game. They're playing against you, your game, not against you. So just remember that. You don't know the person, most likely. Who cares if they win a couple of hands? Hopefully they've won it in a bad session or in a bad way, because in that way you can exploit them in the future. In tournament tilt, who cares? Like, you can learn everything. Doesn't mean 100% you got to learn. You know, to actually win every session. No one wins absolutely everything. There is still poker professionals still going broke today after everything. Desperate tilt, just to avoid situations and just don't put too much money. You know, don't have two lesser buy-ins to the level. You know, so at least have. So aggressive is like 25 to 40 buy-ins per level. And that's per cash game, by the way. So you want to go deeper again. If you want to play it safe, you know, 100 buy-ins, 200 buy-ins. There's no rule to say how deep a stacked you can be. You know, how much bankroll you need to play the lowest level. You know, lower the better. If you're crushing a level, obviously you should move up a level, but make sure you got the bankroll to do so. So if it's just a bit of patience, knowing that you can crush a level, just be patient. You're going to get there to that level. And that's it. Anyway, guys, hopefully you found that a little bit instructive. We're going to go straight into the games now. And after just recapping the last session as well, it was quite intense. If you actually watched the majority of it, it looked like we were losing. And actually, when I closed it off, I thought I was actually losing. I thought it was a losing session, but I actually made 4,000 chips overall. So, as much as I was just amazed just by just making that a winning session overall. So I had no intention of knowing it was a winning session. I didn't feel great about the session at all. Just trying to fight tilt the whole way through towards the end there. So that was it. That was the trick. Anyway, A6 suited. We've got a weak kicker here. Hopefully close the position down. We're going to check and induce a bluff in the river. Glad it wasn't a club though. I'm going to call anything he bets here unless he shoves. So we can call this. And we just induced a bluff there. So sometimes if you bet the turn there, they're going to fold. But yeah, we're just inducing that bluff. It's a great example there. Really glad that came up that way. Alright, I'm going to call. We're just going to check behind. We're in a position. Was a big decision there with how we played the hand. Against the under the gun, I think we got to raise against the limper. Just got to let this go, Jack 9 suited. The only way we wouldn't let this go is if it was 2 hearts on the board and we're looking at a lot of draws. But as you can see, we're pretty much dead in the water. And because we raised pre-flop, now we can represent the king. let go Jack 9 suited. Showed the hand, but I wasn't really interested in it at all. Okay, we do have a hand now. I'm going to raise it to 16. If he calls now, we're out, but sometimes you do a continuation bet, especially if you hit the board as well. So we didn't hit the king. He could have had a king, but a lot of chances when he doesn't hit the king, he folds. If he has a weak king, he could have second. You know, he definitely showed weakness pre-flop, just an opinion. So a lot of players would have folded too much there. And even if he didn't fold, especially because we hit the 10, if we hit the ace, if we hit another 10, we're definitely getting paid on the river. So making up with a lot of, you know, a lot of the times that the turn bet being wrong, we could make up with the river bet when we actually better our hand on the river. Maybe even get stacks in, best case scenario. Against under the gun, or actually he's under gun +1, so he's a hijack. We're going to bet to 1100. We're out of position here, so it's a little bit more. We have two callers, I think. He could actually raise. He's a short stack. So if he shoves, we will get a shove over the top. We're just going to shove here. Gets a short stack. Should be fine. He's got aces or kings, so be it. He's had pocket sixes. That's perfectly fine. So this was perfect. So this really exploited the post flop there. Our play was pretty good with overcards there. We had the short stack who was desperate. That was a desperation tilt move. He was going to call and be in the hand after calling pre-flop. He was just dedicated to make whatever calls on the flop. So that's when we just shoved it in and just made it easy post flop. Because once the next card on the turn comes out, it could have been quite scary for pocket queens. And it could have killed a lot of the action, especially if there was another club on the board. But yeah, that was just a great way of just keeping pocket sixes there. He did have straight draws as well. Alright, I'm going to bet here. We do have an open ender with flush. I'm not 100% with this hand, but we could probably try and get rid of some hands. We'll be really careful here, I think. Alright, this is the last chance to win the hand with a straight, I believe. Alright, win the hand. I'm very happy with that because it was such a dangerous board to what we had. We can bet this one, expect a lot of folds, especially with the king on board. 3 hearts, if they don't have a heart, they're going to fold as well. There is 2 other callers, so I'll probably just let this one go now. And it wasn't really much of a continuation. Like, for the turn card, there wasn't really too much for us to bet at. So we can just let this one go. We can just say the continuation bet didn't work out. And that's fine. It doesn't have to work out every time. Statistically, it does have to work out a certain amount of times. But you just got to be... Don't overdo it too much. Yeah, and just don't expect to win every hand that you make your play work every time. Okay, ace 10 suited. We're in the big blind. Hopefully this will be good. We're in the big blind, so we are expected when we do bet a lot of times to have a strong ace, which we do because we do have a suited ace, and it's a chance to make straights as well. Okay, under the gun shove, we just fold. It looks like he's just being lazy. Okay, now we have position, which is perfect. There is a spade on the board. So I'm happy to actually continuation bet this one. A lot of turns could come out spades, and a jack of spades would be absolutely beautiful. Okay, so we get a free card here. We could bet again. I think in his calling range with a queen or a 9 on there. So I think you can call behind and get some free spades. I actually miss everything, unfortunately. He's probably going to bet. No. To hit the 2. Okay, so it would have worked actually if we bet the turn. It was actually a good turn card to bet. But I did think maybe he had a queen or something like that. Alright, we can't really be too upset about this. We're out of position. We've got to bet this one. If you can't bet the hand, you should be out of the hand. Especially out of position here. So we'll just let this one go. No point fighting for it out of position. we'll end up being in an awkward spot if we continued on. And even if we hit top pair, he's raising, so hitting top pair, he could be raising into a draw. So it doesn't make it easy for us to play that hand, especially out of position. Alright, so we're just going to bet this one. It's terrible. I should have actually bet this one on the flop. I'm actually happy it finished there because there's a heart that comes out. We could be in trouble. We are scared of monsters under the bed for a little bit, which is not a great thing. We could just flat call this with ace queen suited. Normally a 3-bet, but we're actually heads up as well, so it's a good heads up game. You've got to have somewhat of a calling hand, so we can check this out. We could have the best hand here. Alright, I think I don't even know what's going on here. I'm just glad we won that hand just because of the hearts. He had ace 7, so he wasn't calling anything. We didn't lose anything there. Did misplay the hand, as in we should have bet especially when there was flush draws. Okay, pocket 3 is not a bad hand. Someone calls this. We can flat call this. We're just trying to set mine. There's a less. If they start betting bigger, we can let go. 100 just to score a 7 is probably fair enough. Oh, wrong table for the 3s, but we hit 3s here though. Okay, gotta bet this one. I'm just gonna call. He might have hit the 3. We probably lost here, but for 100, it's not gonna hurt. So yeah, it just felt really weak. Sometimes we are right there. A lot of the times we're wrong. They could have had an 8 or a jack. So just calling there just to see the 4 was a breath of fresh air. 500, call in position, but I'm going to fold. We're playing cash table. It's a lot different to tournaments. The tournaments you can sort of open up a little bit more because you want to try and make as much chips as possible and stay afloat. We're going to let go 9-8 suited out of position. In 4. Yeah, we're out of position here. Offsuit is a big difference to with suit, so I'm going to raise this one up. We'll play a little bit more aggressive since we can't really win the hand otherwise. If he folds, winning the fold. Doesn't fold, we can just check here. He's got a bet and we probably let go. But a lot of times, he could have a better ace than us. Yeah, pocket king, so we actually got off pretty cheap there. He didn't let us know, but that was not the way of play pocket kings. He gave us every chance to dictate the hand and get better than him as well. So even with the ace, if we hit the ace, we would have scored a lot more than what he did. Okay, we've got to bet this one. We've got an ace. There's a lot of chances where the opponent won't have a pair, and we could actually have the best hand here. Especially with an ace, he could call the king. Got king now, we're in trouble. Hopefully he's got queen high. We're just going to let this go, maybe hit the river. Could have had 10s or 3s. But I think a lot of cases there we could be betting for value. It is quite thin value, but still valued nonetheless. Especially if they're chasing on the turn. So every now and again the king, like I said, we didn't want we were hoping king would call. As soon as the king come out in the river, you're playing, it just tells you that you're probably beat. Okay, got to bet this one. It's top pair, weak kicker, but we got hearts on the board. Happy to win the hand. It is a bad hand. So winning those really bad hands any which way is just fine. A lot of players will lose in those hands. So, you know, just pocket those little wins. Don't be ashamed. Alright, so we've got 10 of clubs. There's a chance. What do we got? A king and an ace. No one pre-flopped. No one pre-flop raised. We could actually easily have the best hand here. Alright, I'm going to call anyway. Okay, so he had the nuts. But that's fine as well. I think there's a lot of bluffs there. Okay, we hit the board. We know how we play this hand off. Hit the board, so we try and win on the flop. yeah, this board doesn't connect well with other people. That's fine. On the turn, if we hit the club, then we had another playable. We had a reason to bet on the turn as well. And you can always river it if we're worst case scenario. I'm just gonna flat call this. We've got position here. Alright, wow. So this is one of my ideal hands. Especially, we've paired it, plus got a flush draw. I'm going to let go with ace-9 suited. There's a reason why our position. We can decide to put ourselves in harm's way. We can get out. I'm just going to throw the stacks in. Even if we're wrong, we've still got a lot of equity. We've got a lot of fold equity here, but no one's probably folding here. Not everyone anyway. Out of 3 players, it's really hard for someone to fold. We got the best hand maybe? No, we just had to really hit the clubs. So unfortunate there, but we did have a bit of insurance, so we did make some of the money back. That wasn't the worst play in the world. And if we did hit the clubs, we're totally enjoying a huge outcome. So the upside was too much there to give up. Okay, now we've got a flush draw, straight draw. Just upset that no one called there. Yeah, just bet here. We've got a gut shot. Looks like it's not going to work, but it's fine as well. Like I said, you can't get too upset. He was really desperate there. So, I think he was right in his read. So, sometimes when they throw a really, really weak bet in, they throw a weak bet just to try and get the missed draws to call. A bit of curiosity, I guess. You know, some people, you don't need to be curious too much. It's a good way of losing chips as well. Is to call everything, especially on the river. I know people say you should call a lot of, you know, I saw a video not long ago that you should always call on the river against recreational players. I don't 100% agree with that, but they do bluff, but not all the time. You've got to really, and you've got to make sure that you can actually beat the bluffs. So there's a lot of content on YouTube and all that stuff to how to play poker, but out of context, it's really hard to adjust to your games. So to actually put all the theory and all that stuff, it's really hard to get all these principles and, you know, or you must do this. It's hard to adjust it and put into your game. It's not going to help you out. So it's just purely the best way to start out is just to realize you don't know anything and just, you know, one of my first videos I made out of this, all top set, nice, it really was just to just start really with a tight range and slowly open up. I just got a half bet here. We're not afraid of anything at the moment. Ace King's offsuit, might be pulling shoves. Not a great hand here. I want to get raised here. I want the greedy bet. No, unfortunately. Alright, so it's a dry board, so we're going to play it. Actually, no. What I was actually thinking, I was thinking the other day off table, was when it comes to these types of boards, I'm actually misplaying them now. So when the stack is so deep, the continuation bet pretty much just says I have to play all the way in through now. So regardless now, I've got to really change the way I play the 3-bet and 4-bet. I'm in, but I don't care. I still misplayed that hand. So for instance, when you do a 3-bet or mainly when it's a 4-bet and so many players are in the hand, a continuation bet just bloats the pot, so to speak. So it just over bloats the pot. Then you get pot committed like that. So on the flop, I had to pretty much call his shove. Didn't matter what happened because I put so much in already. And a lot of chances, you know, and we had overcards. And there was chances of having the best hand as well, which we did. Okay, pocket 10s is nice. So I think Ace King I played perfectly pre-flop. but I think on continuating bet there, maybe not the best, but it actually might have been the best, as in just realised not to fold after I've done the continuation bet. So I'm pot committed. Okay, so we're just gonna half bet this. If they haven't got the king or a jack, they're gonna fold. We could possibly hit the 10 and get stacks in. Do have clubs, which should definitely help me. We didn't get help, so let's see how we go. Okay, so hit the king there. That's fine. If we hit the 10, we could have actually got a lot more in, hopefully. Raise here, didn't. Okay, ace jack suited. In the hijack. Okay, so we're gonna bet 1,000 here. Just to try and get a continuation bet through. Our position. He shoves all in, or he doesn't. Or he re-raises. So this is a case of I've showed extreme strength, right? So pre-flop, I could easily have a king here. He's pretty much saying, stuff your king. He's saying he's gonna have me beat anyway. I should have actually pressed the fold button there just to see what actually happened there. But yeah, that was the case of, you know, they just didn't care what my range was. One person could be wrong, highly doubt it, but definitely not two people are wrong there. Let's have a quick look and see what happened. That ace jack suited. One had, oh, there you go. So one had king, queen, diamonds, and the other one had a set of 5. So there you go. So the guy originally betting into me is a fish. So typically, if someone's 3-bet you pre-flop, you typically don't bet into the raiser, because the raiser could actually be better than you. And he's got a lot of second best hands in that spot. I'm going to bet here, just dry board. Okay, gonna half bet this one. We've got a set. We should be fine. This is where fireworks happens. We'll just call. Alright, we'll check. Act like we're weak here. We're probably shoving all turns here. Okay, this is what we wanted to see. He's gonna call. He fell for our trap. We looked very weak there. So you got to remember too, sometimes to look weak when you're strong, vice versa. So that was a really nice trap there. Now, our opponent sort of misplayed his flop, so he really wanted us to shove over the top, especially in the flop. He wanted us to go over the top. We didn't allow it. He called, put himself into a pot committed situation, and that's exactly what happened. And then he got stuck in the hand, and he just felt like he's got one more move, and that's to shove all in on the turn. And we were shoving in anyway, so he was just pretending it was on his terms, but it was actually on our terms. So he was just it was on our terms how we wanted to play that hand, because we had position, and yeah, that was easily as it does. We could have raised there, but no, it was 10 offsuit, ace 10 offsuit. A little bit, I know it's a little bit tight to hold that, but jack 9 offsuit, big blinds. No, we're gonna play it, but we're not gonna fall in love. I've got top pair here. There's a lot going on here. See what the turn brings. Alright, no one's showing any strength, so we'll have a poke. Pay attention to what people are trying to tell you in the hand. Sometimes they're telling you they all got a weak hand and they don't want to win. So you try and take it when you can. There's little wins there where you don't even, you know what, you don't really deserve the win. That's, you know, injustice or entitlement tilt. But it doesn't work that way in poker. You just go by what people are trying to tell you sometimes. They don't try and tell you their hands, but they do it inadvertently anyway, so pay attention. At 9-8 suited, I've got to play ace 3 offsuit. I've got to open up 9-8 suited though. Good hand. Okay, we've got a spade. We'll just, you know how I feel about paired up boards. Paired up boards, very hard for people to connect. Lets it go. So 9-8 suited being a profitable win there. Shoving all in here, we could easily open up. We could easily have pocket aces here. We could pretty much have anything here. And he just shoves over the top. So we can shove so many times and then just call that once and be right. And just, you know, still make a profit out of that move. It's definitely, if you've got the best hand, you don't want people folding. It's as simple as that. So if he's getting people to fold the hand, pocket with pocket aces, he's doing a great way of losing. All right, the top pair. I want not everyone to fold the hand, but we wanted the majority to get out of the hand because heads up, definitely he's gonna hold up a lot better. Could have actually thrown in a bet there. Could have a 10, could have a king. Alright, I'm gonna let go of this hand. He did bet quite sharp though, so he could have bluffed at it. I'm gonna flat call this one. Got pocket fours. If we hit a 4, a lot of good stuff could happen. Like someone could have an 8 and overpriced trips. Here we go. Here we go. This is it. Wow. Wow, here we go. If he's got quad 8s, good on him. He deserves to win. But yeah, we can just flat call this. Yeah, just totally bluffing. He's turned his ace into a bluff. He didn't even realize. That is perfectly fine. We were expecting someone to have an 8 there. Shoving all in. He's going to get all the worst hands to fold and only the best hands to call. The better hands to call. And that's just another good example of how not to play. So pocket 2 is beautiful. Just these small little pockets that are still winning. Alright, I'm going to bet 100 here. Hopefully just close this up. Just win it. We're going to have another stab. We probably still have the best hand, especially heads up. We might do the greedy bet. Okay, so we can just check behind if he checks. If he's greedy, yeah, we're just going to check behind. A lot of chance at times we're going to have the best hands here. Yeah, there we go. And pretty much anything that we bet, if he comes over the top and raises, then we get really in a hard situation. So I do like checking behind there and being right a lot of the times. It's only when you start thin value betting in that spot that you've really, I don't know, you've really got to realize that if someone starts making a play at you, like, you know, shoving over the top, you've just got to really be aware, you know, what your play is going to be. Alright, pocket 3 is a dangerous board. Yeah, I feel. Gonna see if this works. If he's got pocket 5s, pocket 6s, pocket 7s, pocket 8s, he's definitely calling here. Those 2s don't actually help. If he bets into me, he's not scared of anything, so we'll let go of the hand. Alright, we'll go one more. I'm gonna flat this one out with ace-5 suited. Still could have the best hand here, but I think we don't. So we gave ourselves the best chance there. It's a little bit scary actually doing that. I shouldn't have actually done that bet into the razor. I should have just checked. That's fine. We'll pay more attention next time. Because we've had a good start to the session. We just don't want to get reckless, which we sort of are a little bit. With the pocket 3s, we weren't reckless. There was a lot of fold equity there. Especially if he didn't have a jack or an ace. I'm definitely calling, folding there, sorry. So yeah, I misplayed the flop there, that's fine. We do make mistakes. Just need to just calm down a little bit. And that's just another example of just beating tilt. Someone's under the gun range, range. We're just gonna check there. I'm raging. Under the gun rage. Oh man. Yeah, just get out of that hand. We don't need to play marginal hands here. We can open up with ace-9 offsuit though. That's usually a good hand from the dealer button anyway. Okay, we can flat call this, try and go for a 2 pair. A lot of times the top pair here is not good enough, especially against these two from the blinds, especially out of position. So if we call, we're hoping for a 9 here because I think that there will be a lot of king, ace, queen, ace, jack type hands. So the 7 come out. We still have a... Nah, we just let go of the hand. This is fine. There'll be a lot of better aces out there for against us. We're just really hoping for a 9 at this stage. I don't think another ace would have done. Unfortunately, yeah. So maybe the other guy folded, maybe he realised the clubs come out. So the clubs come out, maybe he had an ace and he was good enough to fold. Okay, I'm going to try and bluff the queen. Win the hand, that's nice. We need that little win. Alright, fold king 3 offsuit. Ace 4 offsuit. It's definitely a playable hand. We're going to raise this one up in position. We're buying position here. Okay, got a bet here. We do have a pair. Pair of 6s, which is nice. Hit top pair. Hopefully we'll win this on the flop. You've seen me play this on plenty of times. Okay, I think we can bet one more. And see how we go after that. If he folds this, it's fine. This is what we're trying to go for. Just defend our hand. One more go at the 4s. He's letting us know with the greedy bet here. We're just going to fold. And that's it. We're hoping to go check on the river. He re-raised, letting us know he's got us beat. That was nice of him. Because, you know, we had a small hand, so we didn't want a big pot there. So we didn't intend to overcommit or spend too much on there. So, and obviously he had a really nice hand. So he wanted to re-raise. Thought his hand was worth more. So as soon as you see a hand being played with more value, you just step out the way. Well, that's fine. We don't deserve to win every hand. We'll let go of this one. Because we would have won a lot of flops, would have won a lot of turns, trying to hold up position. You saw how we played with that 4 that we hit on the other hand at the same time. Okay, got to bet this one out. We've got to bet 890. Dry board. Take it down. Do that all day, every day. Hyundai. Yeah, old ad. 6s, come on. Let's go with the 6s. Alright, so dry board, you know what we do. So we're out of position still. Just over the top. If we had a king, we probably would have called. But we don't. I think we're beat. Yeah, and rightfully so, we're beat here. The only thing that would have got us going was winning, you know, hitting a 6. So we're right there to get out of the way. Perfectly fine. People nice enough to tell us that we're way behind there. But a lot of times they wouldn't have had a pocket pair, wouldn't have hit the board, and they both would have folded. Here we go, pocket 3s. Letting us know that we've got him beat. Oh, he's got us beat. We get out the way. It's perfectly fine. Just got to make sure when you do fold, and just make sure in that certain scenarios you do have those winnable hands, and it keeps people second guessing. Like literally, I was playing a tournament and this guy was staring at me the whole time trying to work out if I was good or not with my hands, and he just couldn't figure it out. Just my actual different ranges and different spots was really tricking him, so that was really nice. Okay, we can actually bet here for the diamonds. Okay, it actually makes sense that we didn't. He probably didn't understand the bet anyway. But higher up, people might understand that if we just checked behind, we're trying to get the free card with the diamond. So when the diamond hits, we're actually betting. So sometimes you want to, like, for instance, defending the hand. So usually you want to defend the hand against flush draws. What do you have? An 8. An 8. Oh, straight. Oh, he had ace 8. I had ace 3. Okay, we both missed. I expected if he missed, just had 2 cards that missed the board. I thought I won, but he had a better ace. That's fine. That makes his call even smarter on the turn, but maybe a little bit unlucky for us. Alright, so we've got top pair, top kicker now. The hand has changed. Our jack doesn't play. You really got to pay attention to just those little things. We've got to check behind. We'll be chopping. Right, so it's a nice hand. Pocket fires win the hand. Nice. Those small pockets still winning the still leading the way for us. I still think it's a huge difference. You can, you pay attention to a winning player to a losing player, and you'll start seeing what these guys are doing. Like, what are the differences? And the pocket pair is something that really changed my win rate, just the way you play. Because like I said in one of the first videos, I said that, the way they, what do you call it? The way they play their marginal hands. Everyone knows how to play ace king or pocket aces, pocket kings. Actually, they don't know all how to play. Oh, he's got the ready bet going. They all know, most people know how to play aces and kings, but they don't know how to play ace king or the small pocket pairs. We're just going to call any 2 cards here. Should be in front. Yeah. Yeah, so he had a lot of equity in the hand. Like, missed, he had a lot of draws. So it's just a flip in the end. But we did have the better hand pre-calling, so definitely fine. Just gotta let go of 3s there. Just because we're not the ones dictating the action. It's a big difference. King, queen, offsuit. I'm going to do a tight fold out of position there. Small blinds is the worst position on the table. See, someone just shoves here. We're going to call with the second worst. We're going to call with the second best hand. Anyone with an ace is actually better than us here. Now I'm going to actually raise with jack 10 offsuit. Big difference. Big difference in the hand. And we just win this hand. So, huge difference. We could have actually 3-bet with a small blind. I'm glad we didn't. Raise here. Got to open up a little bit more on the dealer button. The dealer button's where you should be making the most of your money. This is a dry board. Pulling any 2 here because can't be too scared. Drawing dead by the river. It's such a wide range that guy's shoving, which is fine. Probably should have folded actually. Probably should have folded. Just because I had 2 weak cards. I'm not paying attention there. Probably over talking a little bit. So we've hit the 8, which is nice. Have to get a fold. Shoves over the top. Could be flush draws, straight draws, all that jazz. Open up with king, queen offsuit. Open up with king, jack offsuit. Our position here. Alright, so this is our type of hand actually. We do have a raw flush draw. Unfortunately, it didn't play out. Okay, hopefully the dealer button folds. We want position in the hand. Beautiful. Okay, continuation bet here. We can go for the free card. Got a half bet this. Don't always need to make our hand to win the hand. But if you did call and we win the spade, we could even win a bigger hand, especially on the river, because the flush would have been, the second nut is definitely worth more than, let's just say, a pair. 4-9, we'll let it go. 2. 5's good. So this is already such a better session than last session. But maybe what we should do is, do we ask ourselves, do we take the win now? Because we're starting to lose a little bit now. Starting to eat away in the profits. So do we call it the end of the session? I'm gonna let this go. At the moment, I've got a bit of time, so I'm not really pushed for time. Alright, got a bet 300 here. Go. Any win's a good win. Unless you got the nuts and you win minimum. Then you're sort of like robbing yourself. Because you want your better hands to actually win a lot of money. Pocket six almost followed the sixes. We have hit a couple sets lately, so let's open up. Check behind ace 8 offsuit. Okay, we're just gonna bet 500 here. We're just gonna go all the way and bet quite sharply, just because a lot of good rivers here. Okay, just gonna half bet this one. It'll be better there a lot of the times. He could sometimes go over the top there with clubs. Got a lot of chances. A lot of times there, he wasn't going to actually. He just had ace there, so that was fine. Got bet 100 just to try and get some value out of the hand. If we get raised on, so be it. If we just get called down, fine. It's just chop anyway, so that's alright. Got to bet this one. Was going to bet this one. I'm going to let it go now. I was actually going to bet that one just because I can't allow another flush draw to come in to come out for nothing. Hearts, I think it was. Sevens. A lot of times we can just flat this and just set mine. Oh wow. Okay, so we're going to check raise this. But it looks blatantly obvious that we've got something. Someone gonna bet? What's wrong with these players? What is wrong with these players? Someone bet. There we go. We have a winner. But now he's probably got a 6. So we're gonna call this one in hope the board pairs up. If the board pairs up, we're getting those stacks. Unfortunately, we don't pair up. So I'm actually going to fold sets here. It's actually really hard, but I'm going to fold a set. So there you go. He's got 6. And they're the type folds you need. Like I said, if the board paired up, we were getting all those stacks. That's the only reason why we made that bad call on the turn, even though we knew we'll probably beat by then. And it's hard to know that you beat there. And it's hard to know, like, it's a lot easier to read the hand when it's lower cards. But if it was King, Queen, Jack, it becomes a lot harder to read the hands. Because I think a lot of there's more reasons for people to be in their hand other than chasing straights. Because then they can have, you know, your top pair hands. They know, like in that low board, even a top pair is not going to be good enough a lot of the times. So when it's you know got a set of jacks and the board's king, queen, jack, it just becomes a lot harder to actually put a hand on someone, because they could actually have a lot worse than, say, a set. It just adds to more mistakes your opponents can be making. Alright, so we've got a good kicker, top pair, good kicker. Okay, now we've got 2 pair. So this is exactly fine. I'm going to bet a little bit more. The same amount that we would if we had small pockets here. But this time we're actually really good. So they could actually call and be wrong. So disguise your bets kind of thing. We could have had other 3s there. Could have had anything there. Any 2 would have won. As long as they fold, any 2 win the hand. Okay, we've hit the king. Got to continuation bet this while we're in front. Happy to see a fold. Got to half bet this one. There's 2 diamonds on the board. A lot of scare cards coming on the river. Happy to let go. Oh, the opponent to let go there, which is fine. Bet this one. Got to raise. We're on the dealer button against the cutoff. Cutoff's range will be quite wider. If you have a look there, we've got a friend in the small blinds. I've got a bet here for 900. Hopefully the small blind folds. Is the small blind's range more likely to hit the ace than say the cutoff? That's the other way around. So I think we've got to let go of this one. Didn't work out in our favour. Not every time it's going to work out. So we just got to realise when it's not working out for us. So he'll have an ace in his range quite easily there. 5 could be good. Yeah, pocket 8's hit. Small pot though, so didn't lose anything really. Okay, gotta raise this one. Got king jack suited. There's more than 2 ways to win this hand. Shoves over the top, so we just let go. Hopefully someone calls. Wow. We're just gonna fold this one. Have a look at what people are shoving. This gives you an idea. Diamonds are gonna come out, you piece of shit. Alright, but anyway, we made the right fold. We made the right fold as much as I saw out the cards, but that's fine. There's no knowing. Pocket 7s is good here. And we had a club draw as well, so even if the clubs come out, check on the river, still win the hand. And when you actually when you actually get to a stage where you know how you're playing your hand. So when I'm sitting at a table, say at a poker table, in a casino or playing in a tournament, you know, a lot of you guys or a lot of players around there will be really focusing on how to play the hand. They don't know how to play. But once you get enough experience, you're not even focusing on the hand. The hand plays itself. You don't care. The cards are playing. They're doing all the hard work. All I'm doing is watching everyone's mentality. So I'm playing the mental game, another level of the game where no one's really even aware of. I'll be like heavily watching everyone's mental state. If they're upset, stressed, getting pressure from off the table to leave, you know, are they just listening to everything? There was actually one scenario. It was late in the casino, but there was one guy. He just kept talking politics the whole time, and everyone was getting tilted from him. And the table were actually good players, which is not great. So they were getting pissed off by him. So every time he started quieting down, I ended up mentioning something like Trump, or ended up mentioning just a couple of highlighted political topics at that time, just to bait him, and it actually worked like a gem. And the thing is, they didn't really blame me for it. They just blamed him. We can bet one more. So they just blamed him. So that was fine. That was a win-win in that situation. So yeah, he let us know he will beat. We'll get out the way there. Ace Queen suited. Looks like a nice hand. See what we can do. Ah, yes. Here we go. Here we go. We're just gonna bet here 1,000. Just like we would do like any other time. But this time we have it. So this is the trap. Hopefully we've got 3 people here. Yeah, everyone's gonna fold. We do have a buyer. Guys, gotta fall into our trap hopefully. Usually against 3 other players. Oh wow. Alright, so hopefully he just shoves over the top. We could actually bet this. Alright, 7,000, get his chips in. No. Maybe that was too much of a read. Maybe I should have just half bet that one. I went too far. I went too slow betting there. That's an obvious tell. Well, it can be a tell. Not always an obvious tell, I guess. Because the thing is, not everyone's playing the same speed as everyone. So if you're playing multiple tables, say online, there could be a reason why you're playing slow. It's because you're playing like 20 tables. I used to play 24 at one stage. Pretty crazy, really, isn't it? But that could be a reason. But usually a lot of people will take a long time because they're deciding how much chips to get in because they have the nuts. That's what we were doing, so we were actually giving a tell, so that was bad for us to do. Queen could have been good here. Probably calling off a bluff. Yeah, so we're going to call that off, whatever he is going to throw at us. Sometimes people with an ace. Yeah, he had ace 4. Sometimes you'll see those people betting there randomly. That was a nice little win. Ace 10 offsuit. Should have probably not shoved. Probably should have raised. We'll get out of the way though. He's in the small blind, so you can afford to be the tightest in the small blind. It'd be amazing how many of you guys watching now, if you just folded the blinds non-stop, your win rate would actually improve dramatically. Because a lot of one of the biggest leaks is in the blinds, playing out of position. Okay, so we hit a pair. We love this. We love hitting a pair and then having a flush draw as well. Gotta play it quite aggressively. Just half bet, get called, and we win. I'm calling. He had a better flush. Damn it. Oh well. A lot of chances there. Could have had a better hand. Could have had worse hand shoving there. Just being a little bit more, what do you call it? Being a little bit more, what do you call it? Stubborn. Okay, we miss everything here. Alright, on this note, oh, actually, no, not on this note. Keep playing. Alright, got a raise here, in position. Hopefully, button folds. Just want to isolate limper. Just easy money. Bet here, should win this one. Easy money, come on. Alright, we're going to bet one more turn. We've got the ace as well. Betting 1,000. Just really utilising. If he doesn't have a king, it's hard for him to call. He's got ace king there. So that's fine. If he didn't have an ace, we're going to flat call this one with a 1,500. Alright, I'm going to let this go, and I'm actually going to end the session just realizing that things aren't going our way right now, and things can start pear-shaping really bad. So this is what we're going to do. We're just going to take the win now. This is just a good winning session. There was nothing really bad here. There's probably that one call with the last hand that we lost, where we had a weaker flush. But our opponent could have had a lot of weaker hands there that he shoved with, just being really stubborn with a set or 2-pair type hands, or even a straight maybe. So we made the call. Wasn't really happy with it because we're going to be wrong there sometimes. Not all the time though. It was played pretty different. Anyway, guys, hopefully you like this video, and I'll see you next time. Bye.